At approximately 2:38 this morning, a Minneapolis police officer transmitted over the radio that he heard two bursts of fully automatic gunfire while he was in this area. Minneapolis police officers, as well as campus police officers working a late-night safety plan in this area, began to canvass the scene, where they found two individuals suffering from gunshot wounds at the corner behind me, 13th Avenue Southeast and 5th Street Southeast. A third individual was later found in the alleyway suffering from a gunshot wound behind Frank and Andrea's Pizzeria. Officers from both the Minneapolis police as well as the campus police began providing first aid to the victims of these injuries, including CPR to one of the victims, tourniquets, and other bleeding control. Tragically, one male that was shot at the corner of 13th Avenue and 5th Street was pronounced deceased at the scene. The two surviving victims were transported to the hospital, one of which had critical injuries at the time, but both now are considered non-life-threatening injuries and both expected to survive. One of those two surviving victims is believed to be a student at the University of Minnesota. 3 firearms were recovered at the scene, including one handgun that was recovered from the person of the victim who is now deceased. At this point, investigators are working to determine who was in possession of the other weapons and what exactly led to the gunfire. We are obviously in the very early stages of our investigation. Our forensic scientists are on the scene, collecting numerous pieces of evidence. Our homicide investigators are reviewing surveillance footage, canvassing, and conducting interviews, and we are following up on leads. We ask for anyone who may have interest in this incident to please contact police. This was a very chaotic and dangerous situation. Last night was obviously Halloween, and there were thousands and thousands of additional people going to bars, both at downtown and Dinkytown and other places around the city. So I want to commend the police officers that heard the gunfire and immediately ran towards it to try and help save lives of others. This incident obviously occurred very close to the University of Minnesota's main campus. And we want students, parents, as well as the residents of this area to know that our departments are working closely together to keep everyone in our community safe. You will see an immediate increase in patrols in this area and engagement as the investigation continues. As well as last night, because of the additional people that we knew were out at the bars, we had additional police officers working. We held over the entire afternoon mid-watch throughout the city, and we ordered onto duty prior to this police officers who were off duty and working off-duty details. This tragedy is another reminder of how quickly gun violence can shatter lives. And we want everyone to know that the Minneapolis Police Department, as well as all of our law enforcement partners, the Sheriff's Office, the University of Minnesota Police, are committed to working together with our community to make sure that things like this do not happen again. And with that, I'll take questions that you have.
All 3 victims are males?
All 3 victims are males. We have not positively identified the victim who is deceased.
Are they all college aged?
No, I don't believe only one of the victims, I believe, is a student. I can tell you, I responded. I was working last night. I responded when the officer called us in. The victim who is deceased could be a teenager, so he's not identified. He may be an adult. He may not. He's probably close to that age. The other surviving victim that is not a student is actually a juvenile. I believe he's about 17 years old.
Chief, sorry to interrupt. Could you take your phone out of your pocket? I think it's interfering with the pack. Sorry about that.
Can someone have this, please?
Thank you.
So the deceased victim,
Yep, we don't have him identified.
one surviving victim is a student at the U.
Yes,
One is possibly a juvenile.
one is a juvenile. And is not a student here.
Okay.
We don't believe that the deceased has any connection to the university either. But there's a third victim who is surviving. He was injured by gunfire critically injured at the time. He's expected to survive, and we believe he is a student, an undergraduate at the university. Yes.
Okay. You speak to that? We know that there has been in the past lots of juvenile crime, specifically in this Dinky Town
Yes.
neighborhood.
Yes.
So do you think that's what is going on here?
We believe, yes. I mean, this is similar to the disorder that we've had that have been problems here. We had additional officers working. We had them come in earlier in the evening because it was Halloween. We knew there would be larger crowds here, and there were. We've had just before this, some of the officers working were clearing out disturbance in the McDonald's, which is about 2 blocks away from where this happened. And there's definitely been issues with, quality of life and outsiders, people that don't live in the area and aren't connected to the university coming in, particularly juveniles, and causing problems.
Could I just ask, in your words, what would be the long-term solution for protecting areas like this, 100% completely?
Well, the university and the police department do partner together. We have the Student Safety Center, and there's a lot of guidance that is given by the university, Department of Public Safety, to students that are here, things that they can do, to be more safe. This is a problem that we have wherever there are bars in cities around. This is, 2:38 in the morning after bar close. Unfortunately, it is common. We have a lot of people. As you see, there's 3 guns recovered here. We have a lot of people walking around that are armed that shouldn't be. And unfortunately, when that happens, any dispute, no matter how senseless it is, can turn into this. And police officers were here, and they heard automatic gunfire, which is that much more concerning, because obviously, in the past we've had issues with auto sears or switches being used to modify handguns to make them fire that many more rounds that quickly. So that appears to be what happened here tonight.
Do you think that all of these victims were known to each other, or were folks targeted by juveniles?
Yeah. Obviously this is in the very early stages, so I cannot speculate as to that.
Can you speak to parents, though, of...
Car accident.
Can you speak to the parents of these juveniles who are coming down here? Is there any, because this is obviously a headache for you
We've
guys.
had some parents come down to us tonight. Not individuals that were directly involved, but individuals that were obviously present here. And parents are often not aware that this is where their kids are. They're often not aware that their kids are in Minneapolis, let alone that they're down here where there are bars.